Well, good evening, everyone. Here we are in Peru, Indiana tonight in the shop of Gamester Racing Products, and we are 2 weeks away from moving into the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum for Rumble 23, presented by Jason Deach Trailer Sales. Kyle, I'm getting close to being ready. How about things at your end?
I can lie to you and tell you yes to make you feel better.
Okay, that would be good.
No, it's getting close, and Russ, I'm going to kind of divert this question off to you. How ready are you guys?
We're a little ways away. I mean, you can see the car back here in the background, but we had to fix the motor from the last time we ran, and had a sump problem. We took the motor apart, and then we had the Coven where we're off, so it kind of gives a little time to get ready, but we'll be ready to go.
I think the important thing right now, Kyle, we kind of jumped right in without introducing our guests, and I don't think we really need to. Anybody that knows anything about midget racing knows these two, Russ and George Gamester from right here in Peru, Indiana. And I know Kyle's got some stats, but I'm just going to kind of steal a little bit of his thunder on that, and that, Russ, you are one of only two drivers that has won both upstairs on the old Coliseum floor and now in the new Expo Center. So that's quite a distinguished honor, really.
Yeah, I mean, we've been blessed. The car is a Grand King car. We bought it in '77, and it's been around. My grandma and grandfather bought that car, and it's a good indoor car. Won a lot of speedrome races with it, and been really fortunate to went upstairs and back downstairs. And
So that's the same car that you've won downstairs as the same car you won upstairs with?
Yep, that's the same car.
Wow.
Yeah, it's got a lot of miles like me.
Well, we're going to talk to George a little bit about that car in just a second, but go ahead. Let's. I know that Russ has some great stats, and also participated many years in the 600 division as well.
Yeah, with just for midgets, you've made 18 appearances, 13 feature starts, 4 wins, 4 top 3s, 4 top 5s, 8 top 10s, and also 6 heat race wins. And also, you ran 600s in there, 4 appearances in the wing 600s, 11 appearances in the non-wing 600s. So I think it's safe to say you like running indoors at the Coliseum.
Well, yeah, it's everything happens real quick, and it's just fun, exciting racing. It kind of appeals to me. I always like running indoors. It's like I said, everything happens real quick, and you have to, your reactions are, you have to be on your game. And I've been really fortunate to win. My brother sets the car up, and it's just, it's flawless. I mean, we're kind of, I think, the top team there to beat every time we go in. I mean, the car works, and it just seems like things happen, in there real quick, and I've just been really fortunate to get around the wrecks and stuff. And when I'm leading races, I know how to set the pace and not try to catch the back markers real quick unless somebody's beating on me.
I've been pretty lucky to have seen the racing both places, upstairs and downstairs, and the Gamester name is just, it's like synonymous with the midget racing in the area, and especially at the Fort Wayne. And George, you're the, I guess, often referred to as the unsung hero, because you're the one that turns the wrenches and everything. And here you've got a car that's not young, and you're competing against newer frames. Tell us a little bit about the car, and maybe what you have to do to try to keep it updated, or even if you have to update it.
We don't update it at all. Just run the same stuff we used to run. Motors are a little bit newer, and rear axles and stuff like that have changed through time. But we still run this pretty much the same front wheels, same bar package. Put a power steering in it because it got tougher to run up there because you couldn't use the manual steering like you used to. Just other than that, it's pretty much the same stuff. Changed shock package a little bit, but.
Now, is this an indoor-only car?
Yes.
Okay.
So with so much success, specifically at Fort Wayne with this car, do you guys try a lot of new things, or are you kind of, in the mindset of if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
Nah, we still run the same package.
Yeah?
Yep, that's it.
So, are there any brotherly squabbles?
Absolutely.
That was answered pretty quickly, Kyle, don't you think?
All the time.
A little bit.
We wouldn't be brothers if we didn't have our we kind of clash at times, but that's just, we're family.
Well, who's always right? Oh.
I'm not right.
Well, it's really great to see you guys up there, and we walked into the shop here in Peru, Indiana today, and just amazed at the collection of cars in here. We've got the 600s, we've got the Silver Crown car, we've got a sprint car, just a whole collage of racing. And tell us, Russ, a little bit, how did you get started?
Well, it's just been a family. I mean, my grandfather and my dad and grandmother owned the cars for years, and we moved down here. We lived in Chicago, and we moved down here in '76. And me and my brother have worked on them for all these years, and we took the car out to Bunker Hill Speedway for the first time, and I can't remember what year that was, but drove it around, and it just kind of fit me. I like to do it, and my brother, he's the head honcho, setting everything up. So it just combination worked. We've been fortunate to win a lot of races. Silver Crown races and sprint car races, and we kind of won our share of stuff. And mini sprint races, my brother builds mini sprint cars, and they're just awesome. We win with them cars all the time. But just something you enjoy doing. I still enjoy doing it. I'm getting up in age where I know this is coming to an end, but we've had fun and been very blessed to travel from coast to coast and see, meet a lot of people and do a lot of different things. So,
Kyle, I've kind of seen a similarity here between Don and Mel Kenyon. Two brothers, driver, mechanic, the trust they have in each other, the confidence that they have in each other, and it really shows up on the racetrack.
And as you mentioned, the little squabbles here and there, but usually the mechanic's always right.
So we're, like we mentioned, we're 2 weeks away from moving into the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum on the northeast corner of Fort Wayne. Thursday night, December 16th, is a move-in with an optional practice, 2 full days of racing, December 17th and 18th, complete program each day with the midgets, which is a unique combination of the Focus, the Kenyon, the National, the Regional, all combined into one package. The winged and non-winged 600s, which we have some sponsorship on that you'll refer to here in a moment. Multiple classes of quarter midgets and go-karts, and so it's a busy 2 days. Tickets are on sale, any Ticketmaster location, or you can go to the box office, but more importantly, just buy them race day.
Yeah, we have to give a huge thanks to all the support we've received this year and over the past 23 years, 24 now. Most importantly, Jason D. Trailer Sales for coming back on for the title partner of the Rumble in Fort Wayne, as well as Fatheads Eyewear. Liuna is going to be the title partner for the non-wing 600 mini sprints. The North Baltimore Custom Cuts Wing 600 cc midgets. We also have the Bob Busher Homes Clone 360s, the Co-Heating and Air Junior 3 class, the EveridgeAuto.com wedge carts, as well as the Economy Auto Parts Clone 330s. Larry, we also have a cool sponsorship that we just announced a couple weeks ago about the Lynn Cook, A Racer's Friend, Best Appearing Midget.
Yeah, it's going to be a $250 cash award. We're tying that into a charity component with the Community Harvest Food Bank in Fort Wayne, where the fans are going to be able, for a free will donation, can be a quarter, can be a penny, non-perishable goods or whatever, but they're going to get to submit their votes for Best Appearing Midgets. And Russ, George, that midget has looked the same for the last 30 years.
It won't win.
Are you going to put a little extra
That's it.
flair on there for
That's it.
this year?
That's it.
how about the oldest midget?
Well,
then we'll win
that
that
could be
one.
another award.
There you go.
Honestly, ever since I came to the Rumble, I remember seeing that car, and it doesn't have the flashy, wraps or anything like some of the newer ones have, but I always thought, that older, swoop body style, I always thought that was one of the coolest midgets out there.
So that's interesting, but I think maybe you'll put something a little bit different on there. We'll see. But we really want to thank Lynn Cook for that, and I think it's really even spurred beyond that, because earlier this week we announced that we're going to be having some Best Appearing Car awards now for the non-winged and the winged 600s. So it's the whole concept is to get the fans involved. Without the fans, we really couldn't do the show. And I earlier today, while we were setting up, while Kyle was doing all the work and we were chit-chatting, we talked about some of the old entertainment that the Coliseum upstairs brought. And, Bill Lipke, he was just him, Rocky Fisher, the old age promoters, they were just true promoters, and that's what we're trying to bring the Rumble back to, is an event. You know, you can go to a race all summer long. We want this to be an event. And when you mention Rumble, what do you guys think of?
Oh, Rumble? I mean, exciting racing action. And I mean, comparing from going upstairs when we ran down, I mean, upstairs, you know, you had the concrete. I mean, when you got a line, I mean, the wall wasn't going to move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You were done.
Yeah.
But it was good, exciting racing. And up there, you can still run 2 abreast up there. And I still remember the flagmen used to stand out on the straightaway and flag, and that was the bravest person there.
George, you're kind of like the historian, and you remember facts and figures much more than I can. But how much smaller was upstairs versus downstairs, do you feel?
It wasn't as long straightaways. I think the turns are a little bit different as far as the lengths, and it was narrow, so you had to be in the right line all the time.
You know, Kyle and I, we broke in there last week and we did a video, and you know, after being there 20-some years, you know how to sneak around the building, and we went down into the basement, and we talked about in the video how cool it was back in the day at the end of the night to be able to go down in the basement and talk to you guys. But tell us about, it's not there anymore. We had Brian, who's been there since he started selling popcorn at 13 years old, and I asked him about where's the elevator, because that old elevator down in turns 3 and 4, and it's no longer there. But you know, Kyle and I were talking about it on the way down here. What was it like? I think Brian said you put like 4 midgets at a time into the freight elevator.
You had to back
What was that like, the feeling coming up to the floor?
It was always exciting at that time, because if you were one of the, let's say, the second or third group to go up, you were waiting and you had to back in, but you would be sitting there waiting, and then they would fire the cars up upstairs, and then you can hear them start to rev their throttle, and so all the adrenaline and everything started coming, and then you get into the elevator, and then they'd shut that big door, and 4 cars be in there, and about 8 or 9 guys, and you go up, and then as soon as they open the door, you could hear the noise, and so it's like smell the fumes, and now you were heading into the arena to do battle. You go around the corner, get ready to go out.
Were the drivers already strapped in when they rolled them in the elevator?
No.
Okay.
No, you kind of waited till you got up to where they would have to bring cars off the track, to open the gate up, run guys off one way and down the ramp, which was always tough to get down because the cars were going to the right now.
Right.
And so you'd have to stand on the one corner of the race car to keep them turning as they would go down.
The ramp's still there. I showed Kyle the ramp, and that's the way. Well, there used to be like a stairwell too, I think, right by the elevator, because that's how we would come from the grandstands down the stairwell into.
But the best thing about that was when you made the race, you got to go up, and then they would turn the lights all off, and then they do the big spotlight, which you were down on the floor, and so the spotlight was aiming down. Exactly. So that was, pretty exciting. When you made the race, I mean, it was a good time because
you were almost like gladiators, because you were like that wall.
That's what it was.
Yeah, people
probably
above
a 10, 12-foot concrete wall, and you're right, it was unforgiving. But Kyle, the little baby in the family here, he last night we went to a USAC site and had some old clips from Fort Wayne, and you know what? It was good racing.
It was.
Yeah.
I told Larry, I think you guys are crazy for racing on the Expo Center floor. And just seeing how tight that was, and like you said, they're still going too wide around that place up in the arena. How different is that? And how was it more intense or less intense? Do you need more finesse racing on the track we have now, or?
Well, I mean, up there when we ran, it was a little different. It was a lot tighter, and you really had to be on your game, because as soon as somebody just would step out, I mean, you'd have to pounce. I mean, you had to make a split decision. Up here where we run now, you have a little leeway. You can get on the outside, and if you slide out, you're not going to cream the concrete wall. So up there, upstairs, when I ran up there, I just remember it was a lot more tense, because if you made a mistake, the concrete wasn't going to give. I mean, you're just going to knock the front end out of the car. That was the worst thing about it.
The surface wasn't as good either. We didn't have we didn't have as much rubber, so you had to stay tucked in. You didn't dare get out.
Yeah.
So the cars had to stay on the bottom, more or less.
I guess this question's for both of you. I came on board with Tony Barhorst. This is the 23rd year, so about 15 years ago. And back at the time, Jack Calabrese was with Tony and did the track construction and everything like that. And my biggest beef as a fan was he built a little track and he had about 100 feet at each end of runoff. So you've probably noticed every year I try to make the track a little bit longer to get more straightaways. Pro or con?
Pro.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I like the track up there, what you have now. That way you can get underneath somebody and get by them.
Or you can outrun them down the straightaway if you have to.
Yeah,
When you start making a big
Now if we
circle.
can just get it back to the 2 grooves, because I'm a little bit biased, but that's good racing in there. It really is.
It is good racing, and it's the same for everybody. So you do have 2 grooves. I mean, everybody, we make it work. I mean, it does work. You still have 2 grooves of racing. I mean, I know sometimes the rubber comes up, but it's still sticky, and you still have to pass. It's the same for everybody. I mean, it's just the cream rises to the top there. I mean, it just shows. I mean,
where it really puts the driver aspect
it comes
into
back into driving in
Gotcha.
there. Yeah.
I think that was especially true last year. Our feature winner both nights came from, we had a few people complain about passing, but our feature winner both nights came from 9th place to 1st.
Right.
Oh, I know that. That was my boss, Tony, and he let me know about it because he had to run the consi both nights. And so I think he had to start, what was it, like 9th each night? Or it was deep in the field. And he methodically picked everybody off. It was just announced last weekend, guys, that for the first time, we are going to go live streaming. So people around virtually the world can watch you guys and your talents. Does that put any extra pressure on you?
No, I mean you're once you put the helmet on, it's like any race car driver. I mean, you're there to race and put a good show on, and it takes the fans. I've always thanked everybody. Whether you're a Russ Gamester fan or not, it takes some people to go in the stands. So everybody, I mean, it takes everybody to do this, and we love doing it. We love putting the show on for the fans. I mean, that's what it's about. I mean, the promoters, we gotta support everybody. We're there to have a good time, a safe time. That's the main thing. Everybody go home, and enjoy the night. That's what it's about.
So that's going to be on Pit Road TV, Speed Sport TV, and we're really looking forward to that. The details will be announced by those groups here probably this weekend or so. So you can look forward to that. And we're going to be doing a kickoff party this year over at the Holiday Inn on Thursday night. Again, tying in the charity component on that. We're tying in, being the Christmas season and everything like that, we're tying that in with a free will donation or non-perishable goods entry. And we're looking for a Santa Claus.
Russ?
No, Santa Claus can't race.
I'll tell you something about that. Christmas, when my daughter was here, I dressed up as Santa Claus, and I'm a big Chicago Blackhawk fan, so I had the Chicago Blackhawk jersey on, and I was dressed up as Santa Claus, and I gave the kids all presents. So I did dress up one time for be Santa for the kids, but I had a Blackhawk.
That was kind of a giveaway.
That was a giveaway.
What better way to introduce the Christmas season than coming 2 nights of racing at the Rumble in Fort Wayne? So we're really looking forward to that.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, I think just as synonymous with Fort Wayne and the Rumble is, the party afterwards. So we're doing our inaugural kickoff party and the inaugural dropping of the green flag at midnight.
Yeah, that's going to be neat. We're going to do the countdown: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Yeah, I've got to practice my numbers. But we're going to drop the official Rumble green flag at midnight on Thursday night, and that's when it's going to kick off. And then
Cool.
And then the other thing we talked about, and we're going to go to transponder scoring this year, which is going to help alleviate some of the questions on lap cars and stuff like that. But it's going to change the qualifying aspect, because no longer are we going to do the single car qualifying, which was always kind of neat watching the car get pushed off and the push truck trying to get back before you get your 7-second lap done. But we'll be putting you out like in groups of maybe like 5 cars at a time. And each of your practice sessions, every lap that you're on the track will be timed. So you're actually going to get like 24 laps to qualify. Russ, as a driver, how do you feel on that?
I like it. I mean, it's when you go out to hot laps now, I mean, you got to be on your, your first set. I mean, you got to get going. I mean, because you may have trouble if something breaks in your car one of the first sessions or second sessions, so you really need to be on your game. So, I mean, you just got to step up and, you treat each lap. I mean, you drive hard and put a good lap in, because you may not be able, something happens, something breaks, you might not be able to go out and run the third session or fourth session or whatever it be. So, you got to step up your game now.
So George, does that put any pressure on you? Do you have to prepare the car different for that one lap versus now? Do you go in race gear? Is this going to create any different setup strategy for you?
No, just good tires on from the start, and then just it's up to him. I'm not worried about what I'm doing.
Well, the ball bounces right back in your court.
As long as somebody doesn't oil the track down when we're out there, we're okay.
I have another interesting stat here. All 4 of your wins were on night 1. And you know how much the track changes between, the entire weekend. Why do you think you guys have so much success on that first night?
Well, the first night it takes rubber down, and the problem we have, the more rubber gets put down, I have a little bit harder time with it, because it wants a bicycle real bad. So it's just, I know I've seen that stat too. Everybody said, I just think really the first night for us is our strongest night, because the second night the track's really got a lot of rubber and the car really sticks, and we really work on trying to unstick the car. So that's about the only thing I can say. I mean, same driving style. I just have a hard time with it, keeping it down, because it wants to jump up on me, and then I get tapped, and then it springs loose, and then I get passed. So first night's been a good night for us.
If you've not been to the Rumble, and it's interesting because it's an empty expo center that we turn into a racetrack. It's just a concrete floor like your shop here when we go in. If you look at our Facebook page, you'll see Kyle took a picture last week when we broke in. Just that empty building. And then we build a 1/6 mile racetrack. And I think it's bigger than Indianapolis Speedrome, actually.
Seems like
it's a full-size racetrack, and you're running 7 and 8 second laps, and you have 14 cars out there. It comes up on you pretty quick.
Oh yeah, I mean, you collect laps off, and you have somebody just a little bit off the pace, you catch them real quick, and that's where the excitement comes in. I mean, the leaders are lapping guys, and then it's just, it's chaos. So you got to be on your A game when you run that. When it's green drops, you got to go, and you got to be ready.
So with all these cars in here, you have your silver crown cars, the midgets, the sprint cars. Do you mentally prepare any differently for this race?
No, I mean, if you're a driver, a race car driver, you drive any place. I mean, you can ask Tony or anybody that does it. I mean, you just love the race, and it's winter time. It's just the Rumble's just a great deal. People can get out of the house and during the winter and have a nice place and see some really good quality racing. And it's fast. Everything happens quick, and it's a good thing.
So how do we beat Tony Stewart indoors?
Well, I beat him, and then he's beat me. That one year I kind of got into him and knocked the front end out. So Tony's exceptional. He's just got that act, and he's just a great race car driver and a great person. And me and him, I have respect everything for him that he's done. He's tough.
I know we're getting close to wrapping this up, but we've talked to the drivers so much, and then this year on the Rumble Mumble by Fat Heads Eyewear, we talked to Tom Hansing, the flagman. We've talked to go-kart engine builders. Now, with George here, we know what the driver goes through out there. What does the mechanic go through watching the car out there for 40, 50 laps?
Just can't wait for it to be over.
If you're in the lead.
If you're in the lead, yeah.
Well, which brings up, I think, one of the last questions, and then I'll let Kyle kind of close this out. I think we asked Nate Franklin this. 3 laps to go in the race. Do you want to be in first or second?
3 laps to go in the race? Oh, I'd rather be in the lead.
And that guy's behind you.
Doesn't bother me. That's a heavy car right there to push it.
Okay.
Believe me, that's one thing about this type of car here. It's hard to get it turned around.
See, that's interesting because Nate, being younger, he said it worries him a little bit hearing that noise coming up behind him, because now it's kind of like when you are in the lead, you know, like say like a 100-lap Silver Crown race, about lap 85, you're leading, you start hearing all these strange noises and everything. And so sometimes your mind gets worried about that and you break your momentum a little bit. And I think that's what he was kind of referring to.
Yeah. Well, Russ, George, thank you for letting us crash here in your shop, and we'll see you here in 2 short weeks. As we load in for the Rumble in Fort Wayne, presented by Jason Dietz Trailer Sales and Larry.
Well, we hope to see all the fans. Encourage you to come out, get your tickets, come out to the party, vote for the best appearing car. But the most important thing is just come and enjoy the racing family in the middle of winter.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.